Welcome to the deep dive. You know, when you think about AI hitting the mainstream, what comes to mind first? Is it something like the Terminator way back when?
Maybe for some. Or perhaps it was that big news about AlphaGo.
Yeah, exactly. When DeepMind's AI beat the World Go champion, that felt like a massive leap.
It really did. But now, wow, we're so far beyond those moments. It's not science fiction anymore, is it?
Not at all. We're actually using tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, almost daily. I mean, for work reports, creative stuff, generating images, it's everywhere.
It really is.
So our mission today is to sort of map out this journey. How did we get from those early ideas to, well, this? We want to trace AI's path from the foundational models right up to this generative AI explosion, and then, peek ahead at what might be next.
And I think looking at how my own perspective on AI changed kind of mirrors that whole evolution pretty well.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, back in university, when I first bumped into machine learning, it felt very mathematical, almost simple in a way.
Simple.
Yeah.
AI.
Well, the definition was simpler. It was basically just math formulas plus data, mostly structured data. And we used it mainly for prediction, trying to forecast stock prices or maybe weather patterns, stuff like that.
Okay, predictive analytics. Makes sense.
Then during my PhD, I was deep into numerical simulations. AI was definitely part of the toolkit, but more for spotting patterns in complex data, understanding things.
So analysis again.
Exactly. Analysis, pattern recognition. The idea that AI could actually create something totally new, like write text or draw a picture, that felt honestly pretty far off, very theoretical compared to our work, which was all about formulas and simulating reality as it was.
Right. It wasn't about generating new reality.
Not at all. But then this current generative AI wave hit, and it wasn't just an upgrade, it felt like someone changed the entire game.
A fundamental shift.
Totally. We went from using AI to just understand the world, maybe predict it, to using it to actively build new things. Drafting reports, yes, but also getting sparks of creative ideas. It's quite a change. And like I said, my little journey there reflects those bigger phases of AI development.
Okay, let's use that as our framework then. Let's unpack those stages. You mentioned 3 phases: foundation, deep learning, and now generative AI. But before we dive in, were these really distinct phases, like one stopped and the next started, or more like layers building on top of each other?
That's a really good question. It's definitely evolution, layers building up, but the shifts, the big shifts, were often triggered by what suddenly became possible computationally.
The technology enabling the next step.
Precisely. So phase 1, the foundation stage, that was all about rules, humans making rules.
Like if this, then that.
Kind of, yeah. Rule-based systems, or what we call traditional machine learning models, think decision trees, SVMs, that sort of thing. They were good with structured data if humans figured out the right algorithms and, crucially, the right features.
Features being the important data points.
Exactly. The model couldn't really learn what was important on its own. The human had to guide it, tell it what to look for. The bottleneck was that human feature engineering and scale.
Okay, so human-defined rules and features. Then phase 2, deep learning. Must have changed that, automated it somehow.
You got it. Deep learning was really supercharged by 2 things happening at once. Just vast amounts of data becoming available, big data, and this huge leap in processing power, mainly thanks to GPUs, graphics cards, funnily enough.
Right, the parallel processing power.
Yeah. And that combination allowed neural networks to start figuring out features by themselves in layers, hierarchical feature extraction, we call it.
So instead of telling it, look for pointy ears and whiskers for a cat.
The network could learn simple features like edges first, then combine those into shapes, then more complex parts, and finally recognize the whole cat, all automatically just from the data.
And that's what led to the big jumps in image recognition and speech.
Absolutely. Seeing cats, understanding voice commands, and importantly, this is where AlphaGo comes in. It showed that deep learning could handle incredibly complex, abstract strategy at a level beyond human champions. It proved the scale and power of the approach.
Okay, foundation was rules, deep learning was recognition and prediction at scale. Which brings us to now, phase 3. Generative AI, LLMs dominating the conversation. What's the fundamental jump here?
The core difference is moving from analysis or prediction to synthesis, creation.
Creation. How so? AlphaGo made moves. Wasn't that creative?
It made optimal moves based on predicting the best outcome. It chose from possibilities. GenAI, though, it learns the underlying patterns, the whole distribution of its training data, language, images, code, whatever, and then it uses that knowledge to generate new stuff.
Stuff that wasn't explicitly in the training data.
Exactly. Coherent, often novel sentences, images, music, code snippets that have never existed before. It's not just perceiving reality anymore. It's kind of simulating and constructing new versions of it. It's gone from having, let's say, eyes and ears to having, well, something akin to imagination.
Wow. Okay, that's a big leap. So with this almost creative power,
Hmm.
where are we seeing the most practical value right now? Where does this actually translate into something useful for businesses or people?
Oh, the value is already immense, and I think it falls into three main buckets right now.
Okay.
First is content generation. This is the obvious one, maybe marketing copy, blog posts, but it's much bigger. Think generating hundreds of slightly different ad visuals automatically, or drafting initial summaries of complex legal documents from huge archives. It shifts the work from creating the first draft to refining it.
Right, speeding up that initial production bottleneck. What's bucket two?
Productivity boosts. This is huge in companies. You see customer service bots handling common questions, freeing up humans for complex issues. But even more interesting maybe is in software engineering.
Like GitHub Copilot.
Exactly like Copilot. It's not just suggesting the next word. It's writing whole chunks of functional code. Developers report massive speedups, like 40–50% faster on certain tasks, letting them focus on the harder architectural problems.
That's a serious boost. And the third area?
Research application. This might be the most profound in the long run. In fields like pharma, GenAI is designing potential new drug molecules or simulating how proteins might fold. This can cut down the very early, time-consuming discovery phase from, say, years potentially down to months.
Accelerating science itself.
Pretty much. The speed of iteration is just unprecedented.
Okay, those are some incredible upsides. But a shift this big must come with downsides, right? Challenges, risks. We can't ignore that side?
Absolutely not. We have to be really clear-eyed about this. Generative AI isn't magic, and it's definitely not perfect. The challenges are significant, starting with, number one, bias and risk.
The training data issue.
Bingo. These models learn from vast data sets, often scraped from the internet. If that data reflects historical biases, gender, race, whatever, the AI doesn't just learn it, it can actually amplify it.
Which is deeply problematic if it's used for things like loan applications or job screening.
Critically problematic. That's a massive ethical and practical hurdle.
Okay, bias is one. What else? You mentioned the black box problem earlier.
Yeah, challenge two. Transparency and explainability, those older rule-based systems.
Yeah.
You could follow the logic, step by step. These new models have, billions, sometimes trillions of parameters interacting in incredibly complex ways.
So when it gives an answer,
You often don't know why. If an AI recommends a specific medical treatment or denies someone credit and you can't trace the reasoning, that's a huge problem. How do you audit it? How do you ensure it's fair or safe or even legally compliant? Especially in regulated industries.
a major trust issue then.
Definitely. And challenge three is, frankly, cost and implementation. Training these huge frontier models takes unbelievable amounts of computing power. Specialized chips, massive energy consumption, cooling.
So only the big players can afford it.
Largely, yes, at least for building the biggest, most general models. It raises real questions about access, about centralization of this powerful technology. Can smaller companies or researchers keep up?
Right. Bias, the black box, cost. Those are serious roadblocks. So given all that complexity and these challenges, what does this mean for people working with AI, or maybe someone listening who's thinking about moving into this field? What skills matter now?
That's maybe the most important practical question. And the key thing is this. Just knowing how to use a tool like ChatGPT, that entry barrier has basically vanished. Everyone can do that now.
So putting proficient in ChatGPT on your resume isn't going to cut it anymore.
Not really, no. It's becoming table stakes. What companies need and what you need to show if you want a career here is that you've moved beyond being just a user to being an integrator.
Integrator, meaning?
Meaning you understand how to weave these tools into actual business processes to solve real problems and deliver measurable results.
But wait, what about prompt engineering? We hear so much about crafting the perfect prompt being a crucial skill. Is that not valuable?
It is valuable, absolutely. Knowing how to talk to the model effectively is important, but it's necessary, not sufficient. Prompt engineering alone focuses on the tool's interface. Integration focuses on the business outcome.
Ah, okay. So it's not just about getting the AI to do something cool. It's about making it do something useful for the business.
Precisely. The market rewards impact. So in an interview, don't just say, I write good prompts.
Instead, you should say,
Something like, I designed and implemented a prompt sequence connected via an API that automated 70% of our team's weekly reporting tasks, saving each member about 10 hours a month. That shows value.
Okay, quantifiable results tied to the business process. Got it.
Or maybe for a creative role. Right. Not just I know Midjourney, but I developed a workflow using generative models that let our marketing team create customized ad visuals for 5 different global campaigns simultaneously, cutting our production time by 30%.
It's about connecting the dots between the tool, the process, and the impact.
Exactly. And that requires a blend of skills. Yes, maybe some foundational ML understanding is helpful. Definitely strong prompt engineering matters. But crucially, you need deep domain knowledge.
Understanding the specific industry or problem you're applying it to.
Yes, the AI doesn't understand the nuances of law or medicine or financial regulations or specific engineering constraints. You do. You have to be the bridge connecting the AI's capability to the real-world need. That's the indispensable part.
That makes a lot of sense. Be the bridge. So
Yeah.
looking forward now, connecting all these threads, the capabilities, the challenges, the skills needed, where do you see AI heading in the next, say, 3 to 5 years? What are the big trends?
I think we're going to see 3 major shifts playing out. First, a move towards more specialized small models.
Smaller models. After all this talk about massive LLMs.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, right? But those huge general-purpose models like ChatGPT are incredibly expensive to run and train, and sometimes they're overkill or just not accurate enough for very specific technical tasks.
Right.
So we're already seeing the development of smaller, more focused models trained specifically on narrow datasets. Think of an LLM just for reading radiology reports, or one trained only on contract law.
Domain specific.
Exactly. They're faster, much cheaper to operate, and can be more accurate within their niche because they're not trying to know everything.
Interesting. Trend number 2.
Trend 2 is the real integration piece. AI and human collaboration becoming ubiquitous. Think Copilot everywhere.
Like the coding assistant, but for everything.
Pretty much. It won't just be a separate chat window you open. AI assistants will be baked into everything. Your spreadsheet software, your CRM, your email, maybe even your operating system.
Handling the routine stuff.
Yeah, drafting emails, summarizing meetings, finding information, automating repetitive tasks in real time, right within your workflow. This forces us humans, hopefully, to operate at a higher level, focusing on strategy, creativity, complex problem solving, the stuff AI isn't good at yet.
Okay, specialized models, copilots everywhere. What's the third trend?
Trend 3 is almost a necessity driven by the first 2, a much bigger focus on ethics and standardization.
Regulation catching up.
Essentially, yes. As these tools become more powerful and more integrated into critical functions, the need for clear rules of the road becomes urgent. We'll see more development of legal frameworks, industry standards, and technical methods to address those risks we talked about. Bias, transparency, safety. How do we audit these systems? How do we ensure they're used responsibly?
So making AI safer and more trustworthy as it becomes more pervasive?
That has to be the goal. If you pull all these trends together, specialized models, deep integration, and stronger governance, the big picture isn't really about AI replacing humans. It's about AI augmenting humans, working with us, becoming a collaborator that helps us rewrite the rules in pretty much every field.
What a journey. From those early rule-based systems through the pattern-matching power of deep learning and now into this wild, creative, sometimes challenging world of generative AI. We've really covered the waterfront, the value, the very real hurdles, and what seems to be coming next for both the tech and for careers.
It's moving incredibly fast.
It really is. So maybe the final thought we leave everyone with today is this. As AI gets smarter, more specialized, and woven into the fabric of our work and lives, what do you think the ultimate outcome is? Will AI eventually surpass us, or is the future one where humanity and AI become the strongest possible team, partners in shaping what comes next? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.